Cool. We are live on YouTube. Let's get this video to connect so we can get the link. We want to give the link to our free community so that they can join us in the comments for those that are not in studio. So let's see if this is going to give me the link. Of course, I'm going to have to refresh and try to get the link again. However, let me ask you something. Are you a solo or entrepreneur who is struggling to get to your first 6 figures in business? Because if so, you should be in our free community too, okay? A lot of perks being there, a lot of perks. Not only do you get a lot of value, but even as associated with this show, if you want to be a guest on the show, you have to be a routine show upper in our community to be in studio. However, you get the show notes no matter how long you've been in the community. It's show notes already waiting on you, okay? We do things like free trainings. We have, in fact, no, that's next week. We have our movie night for the month. So we're doing good stuff. We're doing fun stuff. You're getting great value. Some of our members say the value is even worth money, okay? So some of them even say you're getting more value than some of their paid groups. You need to be there. If you're a solo entrepreneur struggling to get to your first 6 figures, you need to be in our group. I was about to spell my name, but shaycannon.info/group is how you get in. Again, it is free. It is free 99, all right? Now, let's get started. We got the link in there and everybody can join us. I can see YouTube. Look at there. We got Keith. Keith Mon is over there. Good morning. Keith is in the I can't even think. In the YouTube comments already. Good morning, Keith. All right. But let's get started. Welcome to Unlock Your First 6 Figures Morning Show. I am your host, Shay Cannon, who is definitely tongue-tied today. I don't know what that's about, but gonna mix the tongue-tied with the Alabama and we're gonna get through this, okay? Now, everything starts with a blog. This week's blog is at shaycannon.com/dashboard, okay? This week, what we're talking about is a dash for cash. We're talking about the dashboards for the data you need to have, all right? Now, what we're doing is we're talking about data and we're compiling it based on the lead funnel, okay? The lead funnel. Now, the lead funnel has 3 levels. We got our TOFU, our MOFU, and our BOFU. That's top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. And let me tell you, when you work your leads from this perspective, what you end up doing is talking to the right people about the right things in the right place at the right time to get the right result. Okay, so that's what it's all about. Now, if you want to know about top of funnel, you know what that is, all the things about it, the mistake commonly made there, what you should be doing there, and what should be on your top of funnel TOFU dashboard. Catch part 1, that's yesterday's replay, okay? Today we're on part 2, we're on MOFU, that's the middle of the funnel, okay? That's the middle of the funnel. We got Dr. Toya over there on YouTube. I think it's my fault Dr. Toya didn't make it in studio. I sent her a whole bunch of stuff this morning. She probably already looking at it like, what are these questions and what is this stuff that you over here secretly doing? I apologize, Dr. Toya. So it's probably my fault you're not in studio, but we got you on the YouTube. Put your comments in there. All right, so MOFU, middle of funnel, okay? Now that people have taken you up on your invitation for more conversation and engagement, okay, your job is to nurture them, to like, know, and trust you, okay? You should become the person that they go to for the thing that you want to be known for, all right? The biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make at this stage, they're still trying to sell to them. Okay, they're trying to sell their main offer. They're trying to sell a high ticket thing when you have not nurtured them enough to be there yet. So that's the number 1 mistake. Now, of course, there's always some caveats. So who are the people that are able to sell high ticket and main offers at MOFU? Well, most of them are businesses that have already had a purchase from them of a low price, affordable thing, okay? And maybe it's also the early adopter trendy offers. Maybe it's also the people who are just ready to buy anyway, right? But guess what? If you have a highly compelling social proof or visibility in place, they might buy from you at MOFU also. Okay, but these are all caveats that are the exception to the rule and not the rule. So going with the rule, you still should not be offering your main offer or your high ticket offer as soon as they come into MOFU. Okay, you should be nurturing them. Now, once you've nurtured them for a while, your next step would be to offer a low priced, affordable thing. Okay, now, what are some of the calls to actions? Okay, so the calls to actions you can give at MOFU level are join me live, right? Attend this event, take this poll, answer these questions, interact with me, collaborate with me and each other, right? Are you on my email list? Watch this free training, buy this affordable offer. Okay, now based on those calls to actions that are appropriate for the MOFU level, this is what we should have on our dashboard. Okay, if you're having an event, we need to know how many people registered and we need to know how many people actually attended. Okay, now if you sold something at the end that was an affordable offer, we probably want to know how many people bought, right? But if you did a question or a poll, what were the results? Okay, how many people participated? Number of collaborations that you were able to do, number of collaborations that your people are doing with each other because you have gathered them together in that free community. Do you have any testimonials from the collaborations? How many? We got people on the email list. How many people on the email list? But what is the open rate? Because see, that is the actual interaction and engagement, right? What is the open rate? What is the click-through rate? Okay. You having trainings, the free trainings, how many people viewed them? How many people downloaded it? How many people took you up on the affordable offer? Now, when it comes to your SEO, what it looks like at this level is how many people are reading your content, your blog posts, right? Which ones are the best ones? Okay. What web pages are they checking out? You know, beyond the homepage, what else are they checking out on your website? These are the things that need to be on your MOFU dashboard. Very simple, right? Dr. LaFera asked yesterday, she was like, hey, can we put TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU on the same dashboard? And we decided nope, because they each have multiple points. But it makes the dashboards, even though they may have 5 or 6 points to put on a dashboard, it still makes the dashboard simple. When I'm looking at people that are TOFU, this is what I'm looking at. When I'm looking at people who are MOFU, this is what I'm looking at. So at least it lives in its own little collection. All right. So that was the blog. You know, on the morning show, we go past the blog. Okay. So I have some additional considerations for you for that middle of funnel MOFU. All right. You need to be creating opportunities to engage. Just because people are in your group don't mean they're going to engage, okay? Just because they're on your email list doesn't mean they're going to engage, okay? Just because they came to the event doesn't mean they're going to engage. You need to be creating opportunities that are invitations to engage, but also you should be making it more engagement during whatever it is that you gave the opportunity for, okay? So create more opportunities, and then you need to ensure that it is engaging, all right? Speak to them as though they are problem aware. All right. Because guess what? Your content for TOFU should have been teaching them, right? Your content should have been teaching them at least about the problem. Now that they are being nurtured, we need to refer back to the problem, but we're not going to be explaining the problem as much as we're going to be treating you like you know what the problem is. Okay. Because what we're going to start doing is telling you we understand what life is like with this problem. Well, you got to know you have one for that to resonate, right? So another consideration is going to be press those pain points, okay? Press those pain points. And let them know they need help and support, okay? Press the pain points, let them know they need help and support for those pain points. Build community, okay? But you're going to do that through service and value. My community is awesome, but I give a lot of value. And guess what? Because I lead the way with value, my community members also share their genius. So the value is endless, limitless. It's not even limited to me. And I'm not going to tell you again that I'm a genius, right? But we have more geniuses than just me in the community, and we're all sharing. All right. So you want to have deeper conversations and educational opportunities. Okay. We're going beyond being problem aware with our education at this point. You want to position the brand by sharing case studies as educational examples. You see how we're getting there, right? We're getting there. You want to use things like question of the day, polls, other tools to do market research, because we want to know more about them so that we know what to give them. Okay. So we also want to build like, know, and trust to create marketing qualified leads. Okay. Marketing qualified leads are built in this middle part of the funnel. Okay. Now, when I think of MOFU, I think of it as like a top half of MOFU and a bottom half of MOFU, right? The top half of MOFU are the people that are just coming into your community, have taken you up on the invitation, and they need nurturing. The bottom half are people who've kind of been nurtured for a while, and they're about ready to drop down into MOFU. That's how I look at it, okay? So think about, we're going to say oil and water, right? If they're put in the same container, they're still kind of separated, but they're in the same container. That's how I want you to think about MOFU. Whatever is floating at the top, right? They need way more nurturing than the ones that are kind of at the bottom. Keep that in mind. All right. So we want to build like, know, and trust to create marketing qualified leads, which are those people at the bottom of MOFU that have the problem you solve, need your solution, and want the solution from you. We need all of that to happen. Okay. Now, here are some strategies you can use for MOFU, all right? Live video for engagement. Now, our live video guru in our community is Shawana Kennedy over there at Kennedy Media. So you need some help with what to go live with, what to do videos with, and all that kind of stuff. She got you, okay? But you want to be live streaming, inviting the audience to interact with you, like this morning show, right? You want to do live webinars with Q&A, not just pre-recorded webinars, not evergreen webinars. See, we need a chance to interact. We need a chance for people to get to know us more, okay? Live interaction is great for that. Want to have some live challenges, want to have some live virtual summits, okay? Maybe even live in-person events, but I'm going to tell you, that's you might want to be working with them bottom of MOFUs talking about coming live somewhere, okay? You want to create industry conversations and invite responses and opinions, okay? I do that all the time. One of our new followers, Genty, he started with his opinion on something, and I came and did a rebuttal and then invited him to, come live when we have the morning show, and they did on yesterday. I say they because I'm not quite sure, man or woman, right? But they did. Good morning, Glow is over here on YouTube saying good morning. Good morning. All right. So we want to start conversations, and we want to invite people to respond and have opinions. Let me tell you how, if you have a community where you're basically treating everything like what you say is gospel, and you don't want no input, you don't want another side in that community, you're going to be working very hard because people are not going to engage. They're not. It's not going to feel like a community. It's going to feel like a lecture every time. So you have to foster a culture of conversation. All right. Now, we want to share think pieces of our thought leadership for responses and opinions, right? So we talk about the industry, but as an expert, you should be publishing things. Okay. I publish on my blog every week and we talk about it. Okay. But I'm also about to get back into contributing writing. So I'll bring that to the table for us to talk about in a different format. Right. So whatever your thought leadership is, go ahead and invite people to have opinion. It doesn't have to be so formal. It could be a social post about something that's going on and your opinion on it, your thought piece on it, and then you're giving people an opportunity to also speak on it, okay? It's a great way for us experts to do that, the stitching or the side-by-side reaction stuff, right? You can put up what's being said, and then you alongside it can say what you got to say. Shout out to Shawana Kennedy again, okay? We want to create some training opportunities. We're talking about free training so they can engage with us on a level that is very low barrier to risk, okay? And even some affordable trainings, okay? We want to create some guides of interest or support. Guides that are like checklists and planners and things like that, okay? We want to routinely create a question of the day or polls. Some of them can be fun, so they get to know your personality. You can get to know their personality. Some of them can be for actual data and market research, okay? Be sure to have somewhere for your community to gather and commune with you and each other, okay? Your email list is a great community, but it's one-sided, okay? It's you talking to them. If you're like me, you ask them to reply, they'll talk back to you, but they can't talk to each other, so it's not a true community. They can't commune. So you need somewhere where everybody can come together, right? If that's not Facebook, because you know, Zucker is a fucker, so Facebook ain't always the best place. But there are so many places now where you can have a community. But I'm going to tell you also, even though Zucker is a fucker, everybody is still on Facebook. If you are creating a community somewhere where people don't already gather, just know you may have lower engagement. Okay, especially if you're not yet a guru of guru status that is very known and people just will follow you anywhere. It's harder to get people off of platforms where they already are. But let me tell you, Instagram has a community now. They call it the broadcast group or whatever it is, right? LinkedIn has a group, okay? If you are building these courses, your courses on your course platforms, now they're starting to have communities. And guess what? People pay for those courses. So they're going there because the money that they pay for stuff is over there. So you can get them to commune over there because they're coming over there anyway. Keep those things in mind. All right. Nurture your email list, okay? A great thing to nurture your email list is a multi-email training, okay? Shout out to Dr. Toya, who has a great one coming out that's like a mini course that's going to be email delivered and dripped over time, and it's amazing. She is amazing. But yeah, try that, because what it does is if you have a multiple email series, it gets people opening your emails as a habit. Not just you sending emails as a habit and you hope they open them. If you give them a theme of a sequence of emails, they're going to want to finish the sequence. Okay. They're going to want to finish the training. They're going to know more about this topic that you've broken up into 4 pieces, 6 pieces, 8 pieces. Okay. So those are great things to get people used to opening your email. All right. Use social media to push traffic to your communities and to your email lists. You don't own social media. So you do want people to commune somewhere where you have a little more control. What we know is Zucker is the fucker, but almost everywhere they're controlling how many people see what. It's no longer if they follow you, they will see you. That's not it anymore. In fact, when we talk about our SEO platforms like TikTok and Pinterest, following you, you might be the last person to see them, right? Because what they're doing is they're showing things by interest is what their algorithm is showing. All right. The other ones that are going by followers, they're only showing you the follower stuff who you already engage with. So the people you don't engage with, you may or may not ever see their stuff. So keep that in mind. All right. Create tiny offers. Again, we want to have affordable offers. I call them tiny offers. Create some tiny offers to start training them to spend money with you. Okay. If most of your free stuff is the what and the why and the mindset and all that kind of stuff, we want to at least give them some opportunities to buy in, to know the how to. Okay. So we do these tiny offers. And then at the end, we go ahead and pitch the main offer just so that we're getting them ready to understand that, hey, you don't have all of it yet. Whether you're ready to buy it or not, I need you to understand that what you just bought is a small piece and you need more. Okay. So there's things like paid workshops, things like paid reference materials, paid guides, processes, templates, all those things that are paid. Okay. Low barrier to entry, low risk. Create follow-up email nurture sequences for your lead magnets and for your tiny offers. Okay. Because the lead magnet in and of itself was not the goal. It was to start something. Where did you want that lead magnet to lead them to? Where you should have an email sequence that walks them through it, okay? Your tiny offer. The tiny offer wasn't the final offer. So we need email sequence to walk them towards a higher price offer, the next level offer, okay? Now, get the people in your community on your email list and get the people on your email list in your community, all right? You want to share social proof. So the social proof that you're sharing at this level is that people did attend your event, right? People did take your poll, and these are the results. People have been collaborating. Here's some of the highlights. Here's a spotlight, okay? People are on my email list. I have this many people, join them, right? Our community is very engaging. What did I do? I didn't just tell you to join the community. I gave you some proof, right? I talked about proof that things are happening over there. It's a free community, but the members feel like they get so much value that maybe they should be paying. In fact, some of them say it's better than some of the paid communities that are already paying for it. That's, if I were to show you that in a picture, that would be the social proof, but I'm sharing the social proof, right? They're listening, they're in studio, they're in the comments, they'll tell you if I'm lying on them, right? Social proof. You want to show that your community is valuable. You want to show that your community engages. You want to show the value of emails, right? I'm going to tell you, in my emails, I always have a call to action that says reply and tell me something about the email. But I usually send the emails in the morning, and then I'm working throughout the day, and I'll see an email come in, and I'm like, oh, what is this? I forget by afternoon that I've asked the question, and they're answering me, right? So in the next email, I can let people know, hey, thank you for your answers yesterday. A lot of you said this, that, or whatever. That's going to let people on my email list know, oh, people are actually answering her when she says reply to me. I'm going to reply in the future, okay? Event attendance, we talked about that. Event responses and testimonials. Baby, I love to capture the comments at my events now. My virtual events, I grab those comments now because they are amazing testimonials on their own. You can have an event and leave time, not just to ask them for nuggets that they got, but ask them, why they found the event valuable. Guess what? Yeah, that's a testimonial. Now that is a part of the recording that you can now slice up and have as a testimonial. Okay. That was a lot of stuff for MOFU. Aren't you glad you're getting show notes? Okay. So the question is, I'm going to go through each, since we only have 2 people in studio. We got our 3 people over there that I know of watching us on YouTube. I want y'all to answer in the comments. Okay. So I want to know, number 1, what was the thing that stood out the most for you from MOFU, okay, that could be impactful? Number 2, I want to know a MOFU activity that you need to start doing, okay? And then I might come back around with some more questions because I gave you a whole bunch of stuff, so I can go into some more stuff, but we're going to start there. I'm going to start with Heather. I've been making Heather go last for about 2 weeks now. We're going to start with Heather today. So Heather, MOFU, what's amazing about MOFU for you that you've learned? And what's something that you need to be doing more of to get the success from MOFU?
So I need to communicate with my audience more. Mm-hmm. I have a free group. There's not very many people in it, maybe 50. But I don't really do anything in there, right? So that's number 1. But I also as soon as the landing page is done, I'll be able, I do have a low offer for people who already know, like, and trust me, right? So yes. As soon as the landing page is done, I'll be able to get that out. So, and then I can start sharing the metrics, basically. Mm-hmm. Proof. So
love it. Love it. Let me see. Before I go to Dr. LaFera, I think what I also want to know is I gave you some additional considerations, and then I gave you some strategies, right? Mm-hmm. But what I would love to know is, what are some mistakes you've made not knowing about MOFU?
That list is long.
Like, just give me a couple. Just give me a couple.
Well, it's a mistake that actually continues for me, and that's consistency. So even like there was a whole lull while my website was being switched over, right? But I haven't yet gotten back into the swing because I was following your example of doing 1 blog post a week, sending it to my list, and then making sure that I was communicating with my email list at least 3 times a week with value, not like, oh, I have this to sell you, but hey, did you know about whatever, right? Yes. And I have invited response per your, suggestion. And I have gotten people sending me responses back, which was super cool. So my primary mistake is the consistent engagement is missing. So I would say probably top of the list.
Gotcha. And I'm going to tell you, go ahead from the beginning and start building a culture of community, not just a culture of, hey, I'm a leader and an expert and I'm going to always be the one saying things and y'all don't say anything, right? Get people talking to you, get people talking to each other. Even have, some kind of events where y'all can come together and do stuff. Like your writing room that was in the morning didn't really lend itself for the type of clients that you want. But if you start really engaging with that evening one and the purpose for the evening one, I think that might be the one for you.
Yeah.
But we need to get them talking. Just how is it going? What are some of the things you're having an obstacle with? Maybe even start pairing people up as buddies and accountability partners, even though they're not in a paid anything, right? But most people come to community because they need community. Give them community, right?
Yep.
Give them opportunity.
And I'm the one who's the biggest talker about community, but I'm not nurturing my own. So that's that also that consistency of engagement, right? So everything falls under that umbrella has been, I would say, the top of the list for things, mistakes, right? That I've been making. So yeah.
And that's okay. And also you use our boyfriend Chatster. Now, Chatster, he there. So he there when you need him. So tell him who your community is, how you want to serve them, and ask it for some opportunities to create a culture of community. Like all of this don't have to come out your brain.
No, I know. I'll create a custom GPT for that so that it's separate from everything else. So
cool. I love it.
Thank you.
All right. Dr. LaFera, tell me about you and MOFU. Y'all got a thing going on. What is something that you've learned about MOFU that has been impactful? And what are some mistakes that you've made before you understood how MOFU worked?
So what I learned that was kind of impactful about MOFU was that you said that MOFU has two different levels, and so they're kind of like oil and water. So the people who first come in are still pretty new, and you still kind of have to talk to them like they need much more touch points than the people that are already moving close to MOFU. Close to MOFU. And so I need to think about that when I am talking to people about using food as medicine and how I teach them to use it that way, and you do it with ease. Like I need to do that kind of. I guess have different touch points, like maybe a different number of touch points, depending on where somebody is in the funnel and based off of what they've already done. And then the suggestions you gave for things like question of the day, that's good, because I was thinking about doing something like that for tofu. But you mentioned it for MOFU.
Yeah, because MOFU is your nurturing and engagement. Tofu is your awareness and invitations. So yeah, the engagement part of the question of the day, they have to have already been aware of you and taken you up on your invitation. So that's what makes them MOFU.
Yeah. So I would have thought that I would be using that in tofu.
But you have to think about it like this. If they're not already following you, right? If they're not already in your group, if they're not already on your email list, where are you asking the question? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's more MOFU. Now, of course, there are caveats to everything. So you can borrow somebody's audience and go over there and ask a question and nobody knew you before you asked that question, right? But what we know is you then need to follow that question up with an invitation because they're not in your community. They haven't taken you up on it in an invite. That's what still makes them tofu. So when they take you up on it, then they come in to be nurtured more by you. So yes, I love it. Y'all are getting this thing. So let me tell y'all, the people who get it the most are the people who took the organic marketing workshop. You need to get that replay, okay? So shaycannon.com/organic, okay? Again, I think it's at $147 regular price when it needs to be more than that. Look at that funnel. Look at all that those material, and that's just what she could print. It's a bunch of stuff in there you can't print, right? And so it's at 147 right now. It needs to be higher. It really does. But if you inbox me, I can give you a coupon code that will take $50 off and make it 97. So inbox me if you're interested. And so Dr. LaFera, you've talked about some of the mistakes that you made. You talked about some of the things that you know you need to do, right? I would love it if you would tell me, when it comes to this MOFU thing, to keep it in alignment for you, because we got 3 levels: TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU. How do you think about MOFU to keep yourself on track?
I think of MOFU as someone who has kind of, either they've clicked on my links, they have subscribed to my email list, they haven't purchased anything yet, but they know who I am. Something about me caught their attention, so they've at least had at least one touch point. So I guess that'll be the oil segment up there. Yeah, the water up there, or because they're not close to the bottom. The oil will be no, oil will be at the top. I guess.
Just say top layer.
Everywhere.
It's
Like,
okay. Look,
it's like they're not making.
Gotcha.
Okay. But yeah, so they've had fewer touch points. So like when I do stuff like for my MOFU, and it could have been that they're ready to purchase. So I've maybe seen them clicking through some stuff. So a few times. So then they're moving through the MOFU. But I guess at the point where they get ready to make a purchase, like even if it's a small one, now they drop out of MOFU. So that's what I'm thinking about for MOFU.
I like that. Thank you so much. Over on the YouTube side, we got Glow over here. She said, I need to communicate more. I need to allow people on my email list to reply to my emails. Yeah, so all it takes, Glow, is you just have a call to action for them to reply to the email, right? And keep in mind, y'all, you have to make your calls to action plain, like you're talking to a child, because us grown folks, we are busy. We're not really thinking about what you think we would logically think about, right? And let me tell you how. Think about the text messages that y'all get that you think you replied to and you didn't even reply to it. And a text message is clearly a call to reply, okay? So with these emails, people read it, they might say in their mind, oh, that was cool, Glow, that was great, I'm going to remember that, right? But don't expect that they're going to reply. So ask them to reply and tell them what you're looking for in reply to help them out. Okay. So I give information and I might say, reply to me and tell me a time when you did so and so and so and so, or reply to me and tell me, do you agree or do you have another opinion? Right. So lead them with something. Don't just say reply to this email, because now you're leaving them with a clean slate. They ain't got time to be trying to think about what to reply to you about. So give them some direction. I love that, Glow. Thank you so much. Before we get out of here, what I want to do is I want to tell you that the marketing and the relationship advice are so intertwined and great for you to think about this stuff. Okay. So TOFU, if we're talking about if the ultimate goal of a relationship is to get married or to have sex, right? Both of those are very high levels, okay? If either one of those are your end goal, it doesn't start there for most people, okay? Again, no judgment, live your life. But for most people, it doesn't start there. So that's the rule. And somebody that just meets you having sex with you or marrying you is an exception to the rule. Doesn't mean it don't happen. It's just that it's the exception to the rule that most people do. Again, no judgment. We're not saying good or bad. We're talking data. Okay. Now, if we're going to use relationships, I want you to think of TOFU as going up and introducing yourself to somebody, thinking that they may be aligned with you, and giving them the opportunity to have another conversation with you. So you might exchange phone numbers, that y'all might follow each other on social media so you can inbox each other. Okay. That's tofu. Okay. MOFU, we're going to say the upper part of MOFU is when you first start talking to them and they start listening and kind of maybe talking back, right? So y'all are actually talking back and forth. It's a conversation, a two-way conversation. Okay, that's upper MOFU. Lower MOFU is, now you're interacting with me and we're engaging. Maybe we go out on dates, right? I might offer you, to come out with me on a coffee date. I might say, hey, there's this concert, or let's go to the movies, right? But that lower MOFU might also be come to my house and let me cook for you. You see how that somebody come to your house, they're a step closer to the sex and I'm just saying. But so that's why there's that upper MOFU and that lower MOFU, because where they are on the engagement spectrum will tell you how much more nurturing you need before you get to the payoff of sex or marriage. Okay. So that's how I want you to think about tofu and MOFU. And when you think about it like that, then it gives you real world scenarios of how much more work you have to do before you get the payoff, which is people buying from you or buying from you with a larger investment. Okay. Because again, somebody might come to your house to watch a movie, or they might come to your house and eat, but that don't mean they're going to have sex. Okay. That don't mean they're ready to marry you. So keep that in mind. All right. So this was great. This was awesome. Does anybody have anything they want to add, or does anybody have any questions about tofu or MOFU before we get out of here and before I give you our announcements? How about I let you think about it while I give these announcements right quick, okay? So in our community, shaycannon.info/group, get in the community. We have free trainings this week, and they are awesome. Yesterday we released yesterday we released two, one for Monday to make up for it and one for yesterday. Today at 12 o'clock, we released the next one, okay? The next one is maximizing your Shopify store. A member of our community she's been kind of quiet over the past year or so, but Lakeisha Williams did this training. And so that's going to be great. It releases at 12 p.m. today, Eastern time. I wanted it to be like a watch party, but of course, Zucker is a fucker. We can't live stream in there anymore. So you're going to get the link to the YouTube. The YouTube has links to different things that you can interact more with the speaker that did the training and all that good stuff. And then on tomorrow, we're going to have LaShonda Hoffman to tell us how to maximize our book promotion. And on Friday, we're going to end the series with Dr. Will Moreland telling us how to maximize our voice with speaking. Okay. You guys have already told me that the workshop you want for this month is how to create custom GPTs. That's going to be a great one for me to put together. It will happen next week. And I'm trying to get by tomorrow or Thursday the link out. So that's what we're doing. That's the announcements. Dr. LaFera, you have a question. Good morning, Shawana over there. I called your name 2-3 times, Candyman. I see you appeared. All right, LaFera, what you got?
So you were talking about MOFU and the different things that you could do for MOFU. Yes. So how often should we be switching things up with MOFU and doing a different CTA or having a different lead magnet for MOFU?
So off the cuff, I would say when you feel like you're getting less engagement, right? When you feel like people aren't communing or it's not working, right? Because we have a goal here. Right? We want people to like, know, and trust us. And so therefore we need engagement to be happening for that to happen. So if you're putting stuff out there and people aren't engaging with it, that is a clue that maybe I need to switch it up. Now, because this week we're talking about dashboards and data, okay? You should be gathering the data to tell you what is working and what's not. So you need to be having enough stuff out there to get data from so that the data tells you, right? Our tech guru in the group is Leticia Austin. And one thing she says that I love is don't change stuff until the data tells you to change it. Well, you got to be paying attention to stuff, right? You got to know what data to get. But yeah, I would say when you know it's not working, switch it up. But as far as, what to start with, I feel like the more you start with, the more things you have data to bring in, right? If you have nothing to compare something to, because you're only doing one thing, then I mean, that ain't enough data. So I would say you change it when things aren't working, but you start with more than one thing. Is that a great answer to your question? Does that make sense for you, Dr. LaFera? I'm going to, there you go.
Yeah. You said have more than one thing to start up with, but then change it, maybe pulling some away when you start to see that it's not working.
Exactly. And I do that often, right? I do things for a while, and when I feel like something else might work better, I'll switch it out. Or I'll do multiple things at a time, and then one that works better, I'll stop doing the other one and then try something new in the place of the one that wasn't as good as the other, right? And so I'm constantly doing things. Y'all know how many things did I just do new in our community just this month, right? If you're in the quarterly CEO productivity membership, how many new things did I bring to you just this month, right? So where I start is I'm paying attention to what seems to be working and what's not working, right? In our productivity membership, what I noticed was I gave trainings, I gave tools, but people weren't using them. So I had to come up with different ways to get them to interact and tell me, hey, you know, it works if you work it. Why aren't you working it? Right? So now we're engaging on that. Right? So if you know you've given tools and the tools will work if they work it, then the conversation should be, why aren't you using them? Because you're not going to get to the transformation if you don't use what I gave you. Right? Now, if I gave you something and you're trying to use it, what's your obstacle to using it? If I gave you something and you're trying to use it and it doesn't work, tell me why it's not working for you. You see how everything gives you a different level of conversation. So yeah, we got to pay attention. So we never should forget where our goal is. And on MOFU, our goal is engagement to nurture. Okay? Nurture to engage. Cool beans. All right. Last call for alcohol. Any questions or you want to impart your genius as a value add either on YouTube or in studio? Heather, did you have anything? You only one left in studio and talking like there's a bunch of folks in here.
No, not right now, but that doesn't mean I won't message you later. So there's
All
that.
right. And for those who can't message me later, what I'm going to say is use the YouTube comments. And so we can come back to this conversation if we need to. All right, guys, that is great. If you're not in the community, you need to be shaycannon.info/group. And that will be all for today. We will see you tomorrow where we're going to talk about MOFU, round out and end out this week. So the studio is closing. And